going on, everybody? A happy Thursday to you out there, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us here on Northern Life. Very special guest here today, back on U.S. soil, back in the old state of Minnesota.
Worked.
Yes, the passport worked. Went to Ireland, you came back. We got Dan Wolf here. How you doing, my friend?
It's good to be here. I appreciate you guys having me on. I think I'm mostly over the jet lag. I'm not over all of the beers and fish and chips that I ate. But it is good to be back. It was an amazing trip to Ireland, but exhausting. And so it's good to be back at work where, believe it or not, it's slower pace.
Yeah.
Right?
We're at there.
And so we're going to get into all your stops. You had a lot of them, and it looks like such a fun time with all the pictures that you shared on Facebook. But how do you feel about being part of such an incredible event that was put on with Colette Travel?
Yeah, you know, it's one of the incredible perks of this job. That I wasn't aware existed until really the last year. Laura got to go to Portugal, and then I got to do Ireland here. The folks at Colette, you know, we had a Colette travel guide, Colette bus driver who took us across Ireland. The most knowledgeable, kind, incredible people who just made the trip everything good that it was. And so I'm appreciative to the station, to the company, and to Colette for letting me do it.
What a cool opportunity. Let's get right into it. So on day one here, you landed in Dublin. Walk us through day one when you first walk onto the Ireland soil here.
Yeah, so we landed in Dublin, went straight to our hotel in downtown Dublin, and we had a surprise waiting for us. Not that wasn't for us, that's always there. The surprise was there was a massive protest happening all across Ireland, and most specifically in Dublin. And we were still able to walk around. I mean, it was still, you see all the incredible things we experienced in Dublin, some of the wonderful people we traveled with, but some farmers, truck drivers, bus drivers, they parked all of their vehicles to protest high gas prices right in the middle of the roads in downtown Dublin, the interstate, near the airport, just to kind of, you know, bring attention to their cause of, hey, government, bring down the fuel prices here. And they got everyone's attention, including ours. So we kind of had to navigate that. But
was that challenging? Was it tough to get around all that?
A little bit, because they were all parked right outside our hotel. And so we had to park a little ways away and walk. But that's okay. I mean, it was Dublin. I don't mind walking around. But anyway, so that was the first couple days, and then we really didn't see or feel the effects of much after that, and we got to really enjoy the countryside.
Wow.
It's pretty funny that the first video I think we saw on the actual Northern News Now Facebook page was you covering a protest, an international protest. We're like, of course, Dan finds news, you know, across the pond when he's supposed to be. It's still work, but on vacation too, in a way.
Jesse's like, really? Like, so my wife Jessie, she was the one who was filming those videos for me. She's like, you're gonna really do like news coverage here?
Stand up,
I'm like, I can't. It's me. It's what I do. It's my life, and it was also right there. It was like we can't ignore, you know, what's happening right in front of our faces, the elephant in the room. But then we got to really get to enjoying the rest of it.
How would you describe Dublin? What is it like as a major city? Can you compare it to any other major city that you've been to?
You know what? I really can't. It is a culture all its own, and obviously an older city with just incredible infrastructure everywhere. You've got the cathedrals, you've got castles, and just history around every turn, and my favorite part, an amazing, amazing pub scene.
Yes.
I mean, pubs like every other building in downtown and really even the countryside. Was just pubs. Each one's kind of got its own theme a little bit, its own feel, and so we sampled all of them.
Oh, good. That's good.
As you should. Yep.
But you also did, you know, the more maybe religious things too. You got to stop at St. Patrick's Cathedral, but also the day two you also paired that with a tour of Guinness.
That's beautiful. Yes.
Hand in hand. Yeah.
Guinness immediately followed St. Patrick's Cathedral. I mean, like we did all of Dublin in like 2 days.
Wow.
But you could see. I mean, it was just breathtaking to walk in there. Fortunately, this was before Guinness, so
you asked for forgiveness beforehand.
Fully appreciate it. Some of the incredible people we traveled with that were so fun. From right here in the Northland, and then so we did St. Patrick's Cathedral, and then went over to Guinness. So Guinness is a 6-story pint of beer.
What?
It's shaped like that?
It's shaped like that and just goes up and up and up. So you walk in, you start at the bottom, And basically, each floor is a different theme.
Wow.
As you make your way up of like how they brew the beer, what goes into the process, their history, all of that. And then when you reach the top, it's a 360 view over top of London with bars, and then you get your free Guinness. And then you get another Guinness, and then we split a couple G's.
What does that mean? Splitting a G?
Yeah, so I did a video of one with one of the viewers we traveled with. But basically, you get your full Guinness, and then every single beer you order in Ireland, it comes with a mug with the logo of the beer you're drinking.
Okay.
And so obviously Guinness. So here's that video of me and Mike Myers splitting a G. We both failed miserably here. You drink and you're trying, if you look closely there, the word Guinness. You want the line of the beer from your first swig to end up exactly on the middle of that G.
Wow.
And I am proud to say, at least, I swigged a little too much.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go.
It's like golf. You don't want to leave a putt short.
No.
Yes, hammer it past. So.
Do you win like a shot or something, or what do you if you get it?
It's
do you-
It's a point of pride.
Okay.
Okay.
And I have none after that.
I've been trying to tell Hunter too that the Guinness when you have it over there is just so much different compared to when you have it here.
Is that
It
true?
really is. It's fresh. It's just a different flavor. I've had Guinness like out of a bottle here. I don't know if you've seen it where they have like the little shaker inside.
Yeah, like
Yes.
a ping pong ball.
Yes.
And you're like, huh? That's not a thing over there because
Really?
they're simply too good for that.
Yeah, that's where
It's fresh.
That's where the good stuff's lying.
Yeah.
Hey, Northern News Now's Dan Wolf joining us throughout our show today, so stick around. We got more stops to talk about, so thanks for joining us here on Northern Life. Stick around. We'll see you after the break here.
Welcome back, folks. Still joined here by Dan Wolf. And so we left Dublin now. You went off to Kilkenny, and that's how you say it, correct? It's like South Park,
Just
Kilkenny.
like South Park. And if you go into any gift shop in Kilkenny, they've got South Park shirts.
Are you
Oh,
serious?
that's funny.
And yeah, they've made a big thing of it. I almost bought a shirt. I'm like, I think probably every American who comes here
Yeah.
does that, but Kilkenny was incredibly beautiful. This was a cathedral. We toured there. I cannot remember the name of it. We saw, I think, 8,000 cathedrals.
Sure.
And then this is, we toured, this was actually in Waterford. We toured the Waterford Crystal Factory.
Wow.
And they do their work right in front of you as you walk through, and you can just see them making that, basically, all of their different crystals and things that they make. And so we got a tour of that. We walked around Waterford a little bit. We also sampled some of the pubs.
Of course.
In Waterford.
Yep, naturally.
Coffee shops too, it sounds like?
Coffee
Okay.
shops too, and I don't know if you've got any photos for a little bit later, but Irish coffee. We sampled a lot of those.
Something else I would think would be fascinating is like old grave sites or graveyards. Did you ever look at anything like that?
We did. We drove past a lot of them, stopped at a couple of them. All of the and you'll notice like they're all kind of angled a little differently. They all are pointed at the sunrise.
Sure.
All the
Okay.
gravestones are pointed at the sunrise there, and it is a big thing. I mean, we've got our graveyards here in the United States, and maybe it's just kind of we don't think a lot about it, or we don't put a lot of emphasis on it for there. It is a big deal. Your gravestone is a big deal, and it's something you focus on for much of your life and think about it and invest in, and it shows when you visit those cemeteries.
Wow. Did you have like an oldest gravestone that you found?
I didn't look that
1600s
closely,
maybe?
unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
1600s probably.
1100 BC.
There we go. Wow, that's an old one.
There we go. That's a cool story.
Yes.
Cool story.
Yep.
Let's head to day 4 now. So you leave Waterford, you
Yeah.
leave the Crystal Factory, and you make your way to Blarney Castle. You do have to explain what is happening, I believe. Hopefully it's this photo.
Oh, boy.
Is this the Blarney Stone?
This is the Blarney Stone, and I didn't know what to expect. I've always heard of, you got to kiss the Blarney Stone.
I thought it was like a small thing, like a tiny stone.
I thought it was too. But so you make your way to the top of this castle. Very steep staircase, ancient castle. Really cool. I mean, look at that. It was
beautiful. Beautiful view.
Beautiful. You go inside, and you're just climbing spiral staircase all the way to the top. And so we're outdoors here at the very top, and you have to lay down on your back. And fortunately, I've got someone holding on to you, because what you can't really see there is there's a gap.
Oh.
Because you're so high up.
From like, I don't know, lower back to my head there's just a gap. And if I were to fall, I would fall to my death. And they've got like a couple bars there, but they really wouldn't stop you. I
Yeah.
think it's mostly just to like put your mind at ease. It didn't put my mind at ease. So they've got somebody up there who kind of holds on to you and thankfully sanitizes. They do a little spray and a wipe down.
Nice.
And then you just kiss it, and then it gives you the gift of gab.
Okay.
Oh.
I suppose I wasn't really going for that. I'm good.
You're
the
very
way-
good at talking.
I'm good with the way I am. I'm not like I need the gift of gab here.
Sure.
But it's just a cool experience to be able to do that because it's a bucket list item for a lot of people.
I will say that's an angle of Dan Wolf I've never seen in my life. That's a nice chin you got there,
Oh,
my
thank
friend.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The jowls kind of.
I was really hoping for a better photo than that. I got up and saw it. I'm like, no, can I do it again? But the line was already moving along.
That's
Yeah.
one of those photos you go, I guess that's just the way it is.
That's how it goes.
I'm gonna have to post this on Facebook.
Yeah, at least you got the gift of gab. Well, let's talk about another moment that was shared to our Northern News Now Facebook page. You were taking a really lovely horse carriage ride through Killarney National Park. It looked like a beautiful time with some viewers.
It was really cool, and the pace of this trip, it's so quick. Like we would do something like kiss the Blarney Stone, grab lunch, back on the bus to the next place, and we ended up right outside Killarney National Park where there were these carriages waiting for us. I wasn't even aware we were going to do this, and we hopped in, and they took us through Killarney National Park. You see the mountains, there were lakes. I was wondering what kind of walleye and pike
right?
going on in those lakes. Apparently, it's mostly, I think they said salmon in those lakes. But anyways, and we just got to ride through a really beautiful setting over there. Everything is just so green and lush, completely opposite of the way things are here.
Yes.
What they didn't tell us is if you sit in the very front of the buggy with the horse,
boy.
the horse does its business, and
Yep.
you get the full straight-on whip.
Right in the mouth and everything.
Hunter
that's-
and I have seen that with dairy cows on the show, so it's probably something similar.
It's
Nice.
something that's nature right there.
Hey, let's get to day 5 too. The fun continues. You took a bus trip around the Ring of Kerry. What is the Ring of Kerry?
The Ring of Kerry, so it's a peninsula. This is on the southwest side of the Emerald Isle, and it's basically a road that goes all the way around this peninsula along the Atlantic. And you look to the left, and you have these incredible views of the Atlantic Ocean. You look to the right, and you see the mountains. And then we went to a pub that night.
Naturally.
A
Yep.
theme here.
Yes.
It was basically in between any sort of outing was a pub.
But that's the culture, though.
It is the culture. Yeah, absolutely. I took it upon myself to immerse myself
Yes.
in the culture, the pub culture.
Use the gab
As
from the Blarney
Right.
Stone.
As
Yeah.
a journalist, you have to do that.
You have to.
Yes.
There was live music at the pub that night, and we all kind of got to just sit and talk about what we saw that day.
Where the
awesome.
stories are shared. Well, hey,
Yeah.
Dan's sticking around after the break. We'll see you in a bit.
Okay, welcome back. Before I get to my next question here, I've got a question in between here. Is it tough to understand the folks over there? Are they really thick Irish accents?
Yeah,
Yeah?
a little bit, and it's not their problem.
No,
it's my
exactly,
problem.
exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the very thick Irish accents, and especially when we were in the countryside, we'll probably get to photos of a sheep herding demonstration.
Sure.
But the farmer, he would just talk really quickly in a very thick accent. And I'm like, is this English? Like, what is he saying? But the dogs understood, and that's all that matters. Wow. We'll probably get to
Very
that.
kind people, too.
Oh, yeah. Very friendly and very welcoming.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So now we're on day 6 here. You went to the views from atop of the cliffs of Moore. Talk about that. What's that all about?
It was beautiful. It was
Was it?
stunning. 600 feet.
Wow.
And the photos just don't do it. Get me out of there.
Get his hat.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's true. That was
Yeah.
cool. But yeah, 600 feet from ocean floor to the top of these cliffs. And the photos don't do it justice. And we traveled around and just took in the views there for a while. There were also, you could see sharks down in the water
What?
swimming around.
Oh, jeez.
And then we ended up that night having dinner at a castle inside a castle.
Oh my gosh.
Drinking all kinds of mead and wine. So it was a nice break from the Guinness.
Yep.
But the views from the Cliffs of Moher were incredible.
That feels like one of those things where you take it with your phone and you go, I can't explain this to anybody else.
I felt bad. I'm like, from my iPhone, I'm just standing there like, I should be better at this. Yeah.
Well, then let's get to day 7. Now you're experiencing the Irish West Coast. You said you got that sheepdog demonstration.
Yeah.
What was going on there?
It was so cool. I'd never seen this. You know, I have a miniature Australian Shepherd. He's not like these dogs. My dog like sits there and licks the carpet. These dogs, like basically, the farmer who did the demonstration communicated with them via whistle and would kind of shout their names and just basically get them to go, get the dogs to take the sheep wherever needed the sheep to go. It was really cool. Also, little cute, tiny
good.
baby lambs. But then we went to this landscape. You see it here. It's just all limestone, and it's just rock. So the whole landscape, the mountains, everything is just rock. And then ended the day with fish and chips.
Boy, that looks amazing.
That was the best that I had.
Wow.
On the trip. I had a lot of fish and chips. That was the best one.
Wow.
Fresh, yeah.
So then we reached the final day, touring a whiskey distillery and then casually just spending a night in a castle. What's that all
As one
about?
does, yeah.
As one, typical. Yep.
One in Ireland.
Yep.
We were exhausted at this point. You can see me relaxing a little bit. I'm like, I could just sit back inside this castle and smoke a cigar and have a nice beer. But yeah, earlier in the day, we got to tour this whiskey distillery, see how they make it, and then of course get a couple samples of the product afterwards. And it was a nice, relaxing final day. We had to wake up at 4:45 the next morning after sleeping in that castle. We were all tired. Then we got to the castle. And we were like, man, can we do like 3 more days all inside this castle?
Yeah.
It was beautiful. Our room was just spectacular. It was what you would expect the inside of a castle to look like. And it was a great, perfect way to finish the trip.
Is it creepy in there at night at all?
They had renovated it to a certain degree.
Okay.
We weren't living like, they weren't throwing us, leftover meats that we have to like grab and eat. Thankfully, it was renovated into this beautiful modern hotel.
Okay.
But they left up a lot of the historic elements as well. So
Okay.
it was like the best of both worlds.
Wonderful.
What a cool time. Well, hey, we'll say our goodbyes with Dan coming up after the break here on Northern Life. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday.
Welcome back, folks. So now, Dan, you're back on the U.S. soil here. You're a busy man, as always, and you've got a ton of projects coming up. Can you talk about some of those that you have coming up here?
Working on a couple different special reports. We're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the Brimson Fire.
Yes.
Wow.
And time has flown. We're already there. So I'm going back up there. The story is going to be called From the Ashes. And it's just about how that community has recovered after the fire, is still recovering, some of the losses experienced, and how the community has really come together. I mean, you know better than anybody.
Yes.
Brimson Strong.
Seriously. Fantastic community up there.
Really wonderful people. And then also taking a look at some of the challenges of owning a business in the downtown and Canal Park area. Going to hear, this is a separate story, I should point out, going to hear from a disgruntled business owner who just had to close his restaurant in the Canal Park area, and some of his concerns, complaints, and then reaction from our local leaders and what they hope to improve going forward.
Definitely.
Looking forward to those. And for our viewers, too, you can find more about Dan's travels and enjoy more of those photos and input over on his Facebook page, as well as always great local news updates. Dan, it's been a pleasure having you. It's been a lot of fun learning all about your trip here.
Thanks, guys. It was fun recapping. I forgot about some of these things. Thanks for reminding me how good of a time I had.
Yes, good to refresh your memory.
Yeah.
Have a great day, everybody. Find some time to throw a line, or just head outside to unwind. That's the life in the great North Woods. Hike or bike, whatever you like. Get out in the day, enjoy the night. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, this is Northern Life.